How was your lunch today?
Meh, it was just okay.
You didn't like it?
You know, the color coordination was boring. It looked like the lunch my mom used to make.
I packed your favorite dishes as much as I could. I packed dishes with well-balanced nutrition.
It was nutritious, but it didn't look pretty, and I was embarrassed to eat it in front of my coworkers. I'd rather buy lunch somewhere else. Make a better lunch tomorrow?
Yes. Garrett, did I do anything to you?
Why?
I feel like you've been so hard on me since we got married. I feel like you used to be much sweeter before. You always said you liked the lunches I made you.
Of course. Things change after marriage. Did you want us to be like girlfriend and boyfriend forever?
Like girlfriend and boyfriend? That's not what I'm saying. It's just that you don't seem as thoughtful as you used to be.
We have many years ahead of us to be together. Shouldn't I show you my true self?
Is this who you truly are?
Yeah.
So, were you pretending to be someone else when we were dating?
I wasn't pretending, but you try to adjust yourself to your partner when you're dating. Until you get married. I say what I want to say now that we're married. You should too.
I've always shown you my true self since when we were dating.
Oh, right. You've never been a well-behaved lady. You should learn to be more ladylike now that you're my wife.
Am I supposed to be a different person after getting married? I thought you loved me for who I was when we were dating.
Well, yeah. You don't say anything unnecessary. I like that you don't care about small things. I like that you don't get hysterical when we get in an argument. But you are my wife now. You should show more respect to me. You live on my salary.
I am grateful that you work for us.
That's not enough. You're supposed to treat me like a king. You don't know how hard it is to support both of us financially. You've never had a meaningful career. You only had a part-time job at your mom's cafe.
I was working full-time.
Helping with your mom's cafe is not a job. I was shocked to know you've never worked as a full-time employee. You didn't even go to high school.
As I explained to you before, things were difficult back then with my dad's sudden death. My mom had to run the cafe on her own. But I earned my GED when I became an adult.
That doesn't change the fact that you didn't go to high school. Things would have been different if you had gone to college, though.
Are you belittling me because I didn't go to high school?
I'm not. I'm just stating the facts. Don't overreact. You are ashamed that you didn't go to high school, aren't you?
I have wished I went to high school. But I don't like you making fun of me for not going to high school. If it bothers you that much, you shouldn't have married me.
That's not what I'm saying. Anyway, you should be more conscious and behave like a wife. Or I could dump you regardless of the fact that you didn't go to high school. Where's dinner? Why aren't you home?
I told you, I was going to help out at my mom's cafe today.
Even so, you should always come home before I do. You're a housewife. Housewife is not supposed to go out whenever she likes.
But I told you in advance. I told you that I wasn't going to be able to make dinner tonight.
I didn't know you were serious. Are you good for nothing? You're a terrible wife.
I'm sorry. But I hadn't helped my mom in a long time. Her cafe is closing down next month. So I wanted to see the regular customers and say goodbye. Is it such a big deal that I go out once in a while?
You're not doing a good job as my wife. I have to teach you everything because you didn't go to high school. You're so dumb and useless. I figured you'd be able to do the housework perfectly because you grew up in a single-parent family. I was wrong.
You're being so harsh.
You have to work hard to make my life better. Don't cause me stress. Just do what I say.
It sounds like you want me to be your slave.
You live on my salary, don't you?
I thought we were equals as a husband and a wife.
There's no way we're equals. I go to work every day. You don't. Isn't it obvious who's in control here? You didn't even realize that?
I'm sorry, my mom needs me. Let's not talk about this.
I'm your priority, not your mother. Just come home and make dinner. I'm exhausted from work. If you're my wife, take care of your husband. Jessica, I'm not going to eat dinner at home tonight.
What? I'm getting steaks ready because you said you wanted them. I already made mashed potatoes.
I'm eating out. End of story.
Do I need to eat them alone?
Don't ask me. Think for yourself. Anyway, I'm not going to eat at home.
Garrett, I've been thinking. I don't think I'm the right woman for you.
What?
I liked being with you before we married. But the way you treat me has changed since we married. You're not the man I fell in love with. There seems to be no point in living together anymore.
Can you not do this? If you want to get pre-wedding jitters, do it before the wedding. This is so annoying.
I'm not getting pre-wedding jitters. I'm calm. I've been thinking about this for over a month now. You've always made fun of me for not going to high school. I've been treated like a slave every day. This is not the life I imagined when we got married.
A slave? You're expected to do housework as a wife. I've been giving you advice because you were inadequate.
You didn't sound like you were giving advice.
So? Do you want a divorce? Do you think you can survive without me?
What?
Your life will be over if I leave you. Would you hire someone who didn't go to high school and has never worked? Just be obedient and devote yourself to me. First of all, who do you think you are talking back to me? You didn't even go to high school.
I can't believe that's how you felt about me.
You should feel lucky to devote yourself to me. The only thing someone who didn't go to high school can do for society is to support a man. Everyone knows that. How stupid are you? You can't live without me.
Who do you think I am?
Huh?
I can live without you with no problem.
Don't act tough. You have an attitude for someone who didn't go to high school and never worked. Your mom's cafe, the only place you've ever worked, closed down. How are you going to survive without me? Tell me.
How? I have enough money to live on my own.
You were raised by a single mother. You're poor. You can't even calculate the cost of living per month because you didn't go to high school. You're so helpless.
I have enough assets.
Stop telling me lies.
I'm not lying.
If you were wealthy, your mom would not have run a cafe.
She had been running the cafe for fun for the past few years. She is going to live overseas. She's going to spend her retired life in a resort.
You're being delusional. You're so insane that it scares me.
If you think I'm insane, get a divorce, will you? We don't have many assets to divide since we've only been married for a short time. You've had problems with me. A divorce will solve all your problems.
Don't talk about a divorce. We just got married.
I don't want to spend my life with you anymore. The person I want love from the most hurts me every day. You didn't tell me your personality would change when we married.
Our positions changed after marriage. How many times do I have to tell you? You have nothing between your ears.
This is why I hate you. You didn't belittle me when we were dating.
Your ignorance has become more apparent since we married. That's why I've been giving you advice. Just don't talk back to me and do everything I say. Don't disobey me. You live on my salary.
Like I said, I don't need your financial support anymore. I can live on my own without your support. I will get a divorce no matter what. I will contact you once I hire a lawyer.
Jessica, I will have no mercy when you come crawling back. Don't get cocky, you uneducated simpleton. Jessica, what time are you coming home?
I won't be back, I told you.
I wanted to talk to you.
We will have a discussion tomorrow. I will meet you at 10 a.m. My lawyer will be there too. Wait until tomorrow. We will talk then.
I didn't know you made investments.
Yes, I did.
And you've had high returns. Your mom told me.
I got a text from my mom. She told me about how you visited her and got in her way of getting ready for her trip.
I'm sorry.
She told me you were aggressive at first. Then you got down on your knees and apologized as soon as you heard about my assets?
I apologized to her because I behaved in a rude manner. Speaking of your investments, it's awesome that you got such high returns. Teach me how to do it.
There's no way I would teach you. We're getting a divorce.
About that, let's not do it, alright? I reflected on myself. I realized that I might have been cold to you since we got married.
You might have been cold. That's it. I'm not going to forgive you.
Don't get so sulky, Jessica. I love you. I married you because it didn't matter to me that you didn't go to high school.
You married me because I didn't go to high school and had no means to escape from you. You showed me your true self because you thought you could control me. I know from your words and actions.
That's not true. You're capable of making money although you didn't go to high school. You're 10 times better than highly educated women with a mediocre job.
Okay, thanks for such a meaningless affirmation. I will get a divorce no matter what you say.
Jessica, I'm so sorry. I thought I had to take the lead in our marriage. I tried too hard.
Stop with the excuses. They aren't even good excuses.
I'm not making excuses. I'm telling you the truth. Just come home to me. Let's not get a divorce, okay? I miss your cooking.
My cooking looks like your mom's, doesn't it? You complained about it.
I said it because I wanted you to keep working to be better. I didn't mean to say you're a bad cook.
You changed your attitude as soon as you found out that I have enough money to live on my own. Do you know what someone like you is called? A two-faced person.
I didn't mean to be two-faced. I've always had respect for you.
This wouldn't have happened if you had respect for me.
You weren't fair to me. If you had enough money for us to live in luxury, you should have told me.
My dad was betrayed by a person whom he trusted when he was still alive. For money, of course. My mother would always advise me to be careful. She would always tell me not to show my spouse the amount of my savings soon after we get married. I was told to only show the amount of money I saved by working at the cafe.
Even so, it's not fair to reveal it right before you get a divorce.
I revealed it because we were getting a divorce. I wasn't going to tell you at all. But you've always belittled me. I just wanted to prove to you that I am capable of living on my own before we get a divorce.
I can't live without you. You did everything around the house. I can't live on my own.
It's been only 6 months since we married. You lived on your own until we married. You can do things around the house.
I don't want to live without you. I love you from the bottom of my heart.
Don't go to bed before I do. Don't wake up later than I do. Don't disobey me. You didn't go to high school. A housewife is a slave. You said all those things to me. How can you say that you can't live without me now? I will never go back to living with you.
You've made up your mind.
Yes. My mind won't change.
Okay, but we'll still divide our assets.
What?
I won't let you get away like this. I will take all the money you made. I have no problem divorcing you as long as I get the money.
Once an asshole, always an asshole. You won't get a penny.
What? Why?
Only the assets you and I acquired during the marriage will be subject to the division of the assets. I'm not required to divide the assets I acquired before the marriage.
No. I'm sorry, Jessica. I was just upset. I didn't mean any of the things I said. So please, don't misunderstand.
I understood you perfectly. I understood perfectly that you are an asshole. Do you know what's funny? It's that you don't have as much knowledge as someone who didn't go to high school. Although you've always made fun of me. You must be the dumbest person on earth. My ex-husband and I reached a divorce settlement. It took a long time, but I had a record of his texts during the marriage. In addition to that, a record of our conversations helped finalize the divorce. After going through all the procedures, I was going to go overseas to meet my mother and rejuvenate myself. But then my ex-husband broke into my mother's house and got arrested. He committed the crime because he was upset that he couldn't receive any of my assets. He plotted to steal expensive items in my mother's house and sell them for money. There were no expensive items as neither my mother nor I are interested in luxury goods. All of our money was saved in the bank as we were going to leave the house for a while. He failed to steal anything and was seen on a surveillance camera. He was caught from activating the alarm system. I was just astounded by his pathetic end. He was fired from the company because of the arrest. It is hard to believe how stupidly he invited his own misfortunes. He must have had karma from belittling and making fun of me. After the incident settled down, I finally managed to go and meet my mother. I spent every day doing what I like and rejuvenating myself and doing housework just for my mother and I. Because I've experienced a financially difficult time before, I am happy just having sufficient money to live a normal life. I don't need luxury items. I want to spend my money to help others in the future. Also, I'm willing to learn good judgment on people. I still haven't healed from the trauma caused by the sudden change of someone I once loved, but I'm going to face myself and keep on doing what I can.
Today's dinner was a blast, Heidi. The restaurant was fancy as heck, and the food was out of this world. Seriously? If you ever plan another outing, don't hesitate to invite my hubby and me. It was a spectacular time.
About that. Do you guys think you could chip in for your own food?
Huh? Why?
Well, here's the deal. You and your hubby went all out with the extra drinks and appetizers tonight. Way more than everyone else. Extra caviar, top shelf champagne. The bill ended up being over $4,000 just from your extra orders. Paul and I were a bit shocked when we saw that.
And what's your point? Today was your celebration for getting hitched, right? If you're not even planning to have a wedding, the least you can do is treat your family to dinner. So don't expect a dime from me or my husband, okay?
I get where you're coming from, but we didn't expect you two to go all out on drinks and food like that. A little extra bread would have been fine, but it went way overboard tonight.
Well, sorry to bust your bubble, but I didn't think my hubby and I would end up spending over $4,000 on everything. Your one-course meal for us wasn't gonna cut it. We just wanted to enjoy some extra grub and drinks to make the celebration special. And let me tell you, at the restaurants we usually go to, that same amount of food and drinks would cost us like $200 tops. This is what happens when you try to show off by booking some fancy joint.
So you're blaming us for picking that restaurant, Judy?
Bingo! My husband and I came here to celebrate my little bro and his wife. So don't get all worked up about us being here if you're the ones who invited us in the first place.
Can you at least cover a small portion of what you guys consumed? We'll cover 80%, and if you guys can handle the remaining 20, that would be great. At least then we wouldn't have to foot the whole $4,000 bill for you two.
Stop messing around with me, Heidi. It's because of you two getting such a fancy and high-end restaurant that I had to pay a pretty penny for all my makeup and hair to be done. Yet now you want us to pay more for just eating some food? We aren't paying for a thing tonight.
Really?
Maybe from now on, you guys should stick to chain restaurants or something casual. If you don't want to pay more than $1,000 for everyone... Right. How about next time you guys just host a party at your house for everyone? Have everyone that comes at least bring one food or drink with them, and then you won't have to pay more than $200 for the night.
A home party, huh?
We talked about it today during dinner. You guys are planning to move into an amazing apartment tower now that you're married, right? The views are amazing and the rooms are spacious. And when mom and dad went with you guys to check the place out, they had a ball. So when you guys are ready, we'll come over to play as well.
Well, if that's what you guys want to do next, I'll have to check with Paul first. I can't just choose these sort of things on my own. Well, we'll make sure to make time for whenever you guys are ready to have us over.
When you both have a good date open, let us know. We'll bring some food and alcohol over, and we can all have a fun night.
My dad just told me that he and mom had made it back home safely. They said that today's dinner was absolutely wonderful.
Thank you for letting me know, and I'm happy to hear they both had a great dinner with us. And actually, just a bit ago, I was texting with Judy. She said she and her husband both had a great time as well.
Well, maybe that's due to the two of them going over the top with all the food and drink they ordered. When you asked them to pay for what they ate, did she take that well?
she told me she has no intention of paying for it. I asked them to at least pay a portion of the bill, but even then she told me they already paid enough just to be there for us. And then went on to tell me that asking for money from them now is just not right.
Dang it. Then I guess that $4,000 is all going to have to be paid off by us. I'm sorry for my stupidly selfish sister. I'll make sure to pay for all they ate with my savings.
No, you don't have to do that. We both invited them to be at the dinner, so I'll pay for half of that. Anyway, Judy also said she'd like to come to our new apartment to hang out sometime. And wondered if we could do a home party and all.
What? She invited herself to have a home party at our new place?
Well, talking about today's dinner led us to starting a new conversation about the apartment. And that's when she said that she wanted to come over and party.
She must have heard about Mom and Dad coming with us to check the place out last time. And since they all seemed to be really interested in the apartment, they always commented about it throughout today's dinner.
And that's what's got Judy really into coming over to see the place firsthand. She said she and her husband would bring some food and drinks, and we could all have a party there. What should we do? Should we have a party, and when?
No, I'm not going to let her and her husband into this new apartment. You can just forget about her ever asking about a home party, because it's not happening at our place. Next time, if she says anything about it, tell her I've said no.
Huh? You don't want either of them coming over to our place? You'll let your mom and dad come.
I have a hunch that when she comes here, she'll try to steal something from us. And I'm not letting that happen. So she's not coming in. And if she does come in, we'll lose some things and never see them again.
Huh? What do you mean by that?
I know that you can't see it in them, but my sister and her husband are both very selfish and will do anything and take anything they please. You could say that she's jealous of what others have, but too cheap to buy her own things. But I know that if she comes into our house, she'll leave with her hands full of our things.
Are you serious?
When I was living on my own, she came over quite often to hang out with me. She'd say she was in the area shopping and wanted to stop over in my place and take a rest. But when they'd leave my place, I'd start realizing it was missing some of my things.
Are you sure you're not just mistaking some things?
I made sure to check everywhere for my things before accusing them. I started to notice that my toilet paper would disappear. But as time went on and they got worse and worse, I started to notice my clothing had gone missing and things like that.
What?
Even the t-shirts I collected from those metal concerts I've gone to were missing. And one time, when her husband came over, I saw him taking my things. Of course, I confronted them about it right then, but then they told me that they were just borrowing things before they ran off with them. And ever since, I've gotten nothing of what they borrowed back.
That's really terrible of them, though. Even if you're family, that shouldn't mean that they get to have all your things.
And that's the reason why those two are not allowed in our new apartment. And this place isn't just mine, but ours. And we have a lot of things here. I'm at least a little used to having some of my things stolen. But if they start stealing your things too, I'd break.
I get that, and I'm not too happy about any of that either. Then I guess we're not going to be having a house party with them then. And even besides that, we'll make sure to not let her or her husband into our place.
Yeah, let's do our best with that. I'm sorry, Heidi. My family has all sorts of problems. If she says anything else to you about it, tell me right away. I'll make sure to handle them for you, since she's my sister after all.
Heidi? I decided to come over to hang out. But why are you not here? Are you guys out of the house somewhere?
Wait, Judy?
I bought some beers to bring over. So I'll put those in the fridge for later, okay? We can have them all when everyone's back here.
The fridge? Hey, slow down a second there. Don't tell me you're in our apartment right now.
You never ended up letting me know when we could come over. So I decided to let myself in. We already knew that Mom had a set of keys to the place. So after going to their house after dark, we grabbed the keys and came here to let ourselves in today.
What? But that's breaking and entering, right?
What are you talking about, Heidi? We are your family, so we don't have to worry about things like that. But before we talk any more about that, can you tell us where you both went? It's the weekend now, so we had planned to come and have drinks with you both.
Well, we're on our honeymoon right now. I told you earlier that we'd be going to Europe today for our honeymoon and that we'd be back sometime later, right?
Huh? Is that so? I feel like you did tell me that one time, but I guess I forgot. But back then, while you were still around, you should have invited me. So I was a bit disappointed in you for that.
You were disappointed? I had some feeling that day that you really wanted me to ask for you to come over, but...
Really? And that's because I did want you to ask me over. Yet now that I decided to let myself over, you both happen to be out of the country. I don't even want to go home now. I guess until you both get back, we'll just have to live here.
What?
And just as Mom and Dad said, this place is super spacious. It's like living in the dream world, being up this high in the apartment tower with all this nice interior. I think we'll be taking this place over from now on. I think it's been long enough now, so why don't you and Paul just hand this place over to his big sister?
There is no way we'd ever do something like that for you. Don't say such stupid things and just hurry up and leave our apartment, okay? Entering into someone's house without asking is trespassing, and that's not good.
I told you, it's fine. We're your family, right? I just found some really high quality steak in you guys' freezer. A5, huh? That's pretty expensive, isn't it? You and my little brother sure have lived the dream life here.
Please stop going through our freezer like that.
What is all of this? Some really expensive looking wines and the most amazing looking cheese? I'm going to open these all up right away. I'll make sure to leave you guys those cheap beers in exchange for this lovely wine, okay?
I am telling you to please stop, Judy. You can't go into someone else's house and start eating and drinking all their things like that.
What? What is this? What are all these really high-end pieces of jewelry you have here? These are those types that were only sold a limited time and were gone within days, right?
Hey, what are you doing now, fishing around like that? Do not just go into our room looking through all our things, please.
I heard that these things can sell for a lot online right now. My God. I just put one of them up for sale and it's already been sold. And I just made 3 times the original amount on it. This is amazing here.
You have to be joking. Did you just sell one of my pieces of jewelry?
It's fine, it's fine. I'll make sure to give you half the money I received, okay? And the other half will go to me for going through all this work.
Stop all of this right now, Judy. Doing all of this after breaking into our house is not okay. If you are not out of that house in 1 minute, I'm calling the police.
What? Were you not listening to what I just said a second ago? My husband and I really like this apartment. And so from here on out, it's where we're going to live. So this is no longer you guys' place to call home anymore.
Excuse me?
You guys don't have a place to come home to now. You guys still have some time on your honeymoon to start looking for a new place to live.
We never planned to go back there.
Huh?
Actually, a few days before we went on vacation, Paul and I moved out of there. And so we haven't been planning on ever going back there once we're done on our honeymoon.
You moved out? Then whose place is this right now? And the key that Mom and Dad had still allowed us to get in? Normally, when someone moves out, the company that owns the tower will change the lock, right?
Well, the next couple to be moving in is close to us. And so we saw no need having all the locks and keys changed out. After all, we were handing that place over to your mom and dad to live in.
What? My mom and dad?
Actually, we've been talking with them about this. They told us before that they really did love our apartment a lot. And when we told them that we had planned to move out at some point, they asked if they could have it as their next home.
Their new home?
Well, the house they had was getting really old, and they were first thinking of remodeling that house. But during that time, they came over and saw our new apartment, and that's when they became interested in wanting to live here. But having them look for a tower apartment of their own to move into can be pretty stressful. So your brother and I started thinking that maybe they can move into our apartment. And so in the end, we decided to have them take our place and move in. And they really liked that idea and thanked us for it.
What the heck?
And also, recently, you have been a pain in the butt. So we had the idea of moving out of our minds a month now. And so since we both have been wanting to move and your parents really wanted this place, we gave it to them in turn for whatever money they got for that old house so that we could get a new place to live. And that's why we were able to move out of there right before we took our honeymoon and have a new place to live.
So then that means... Wait a sec. So right now, this isn't your guys' apartment, but my mom's and dad's?
Yep. Your parents wanted a more relaxed life, and living there would give them that. And so that steak and wine and cheese that you just happened to eat and drink all belong to your mom and dad. And that high-end piece of jewelry you just sold belonged to your mom. And I remember her telling me that she always had to take days out of her life waiting to buy those for herself.
Huh? You're lying, right? What should I do? I didn't know all this belonged to my parents now.
And it seems your mom and dad are close by going on a walk right now. And when I called them and let them know of this, they said they start walking home right away. So they should be there any minute now to see you both.
Oh, crap. Right now the doorbell is going off like crazy. Mom and Dad are gonna be so pissed with me for this.
Well, Paul and I are on our honeymoon trip, so I'm going to have to leave you with them now. Make sure to apologize to them both, okay?
Help me, Heidi. Do you think you can let us come stay with you for a bit?
Huh? What happened to you?
My mom and dad kicked me out of their apartment. I tried so hard to apologize to them for everything, but they were both so frustrated with me that they wouldn't listen to a word I said. And they ended by saying they never wanted me around them ever again. But my husband and I had planned to live in that apartment, right? And so the apartment we had before we gave up, before coming over to that tower apartment.
Man, you really did plan on taking our apartment away from us.
Right now, we're trying to make it work without a house, but I can't do it any longer. And another thing, right? I was fired from my job, but with the amount my husband brings in, we cannot live like this. And we have no savings. And without any money, he and I can't find a place to rent.
And having to move into someplace new does cost a lot of money and time, right?
So if you can, please let us stay with you until we have enough money saved up. That'd be much appreciated. Let us know where you guys moved to. You guys have to be back from that honeymoon by now, right? So please let us live with you guys for a while in that new place.
I'm sorry, but I can't do that. After telling Gage about what happened recently and the history he's had with you, I don't think I'll ever be able to allow you guys around our house.
But we're family, aren't we? And even if we're in-laws, I've always seen you as my little sister. And you can see that your older sister is struggling right now, so just shut up and let us stay with you. If you don't, I'm no longer going to be friendly with you.
Actually, I'm totally fine with you, and I will never see you again. And if you think you're struggling right now, I'd rather not let you over here. Or else you'll make Paul and I struggle with both of you as well. And I get that you think I'm your little sister, but in reality, I'm your husband's boss. And so really, I have control over what happens with you both, huh?
You're my husband's boss?
So no matter how much you think you and I have been close, I'm not thinking of us the same way. He's my employee right now, and I don't want to have a personal connection to his family when at any moment I might need to fire him.
Huh? Wait. What did you just say?
We had talked about this during my dinner a while back. But I suppose you both were drunk off of that champagne, and so you never heard me talking about being your husband's boss.
You guys really work for the same company? What the hell? This is the first time I'm hearing about any of this.
And the company we work for isn't all that big. So when I got married, he knew about it pretty quickly. Words began to spread then about how he and I would be related, and that would mean he would be my subordinate, even though he's my family and that's against company policy. So the plan was that after I'd gotten married and was back in office, he would have to change departments. And so actually, he's been left with another manager in charge of him.
Wait. What? Why do you get to be above my own husband in that company? My husband is older than you, right?
But I happen to have a lot better of an education. And I've done a lot more for this company.
Huh?
This company is relatively new. And so things like age and gender play no part in who becomes manager here. And so those who actually put in the work and are educated in what they do get to move up.
So wait, that means you're saying my husband pretty much sucks at his job there?
Well, to be honest, yes. And I have to say, I'd never really want to consider him my employee or anything. Just be aware that when I'm back, things will become a lot more strict for him. I don't want him thinking he can just keep getting away with slacking off while he has a bunch of work to get done.
What?
I've heard from a lot of the other leaders in this company about him. They say he's never wanted to get anything done right, and he's always on his phone or at other people's desks talking with them. That's probably the reason someone like me was able to become a manager here, and he had to stay put.
Huh? What? Wait, just because we're family doesn't mean you get a free pass to start talking about my husband that way. I promise you that he will not take all that talk lightly. He'll make sure to surpass you in no time there.
And that would be awesome. But before he can do that, I think he'll be on the company's chopping block.
Huh?
According to others, he has been stealing some things from the company. And soon the company will have evidence of all that to work with. And since you've been fired, and so will your husband here soon, you both will be stuck in a pretty crappy lifestyle.
Excuse me?
I'll just say this for your sake, but remember that even though you guys will have nowhere to go, you cannot break into other people's homes. They might really call the police on you both. And that wouldn't turn out well. Now I'm going to say goodbye. After all that drama, the next day, Judy's husband got hauled into the HR office and got a serious scolding. They had proof that he'd been stealing stuff from the company, and he had the nerve to blame it on his wife, saying she asked him to take those things. He actually had the audacity to argue that he shouldn't be fired just for listening to his wife. But the HR people shot back, saying his work ethic was crap and all he ever did was chat with coworkers all day. They kicked him out of the office building on the spot and told him never to come back. On top of that, they made him pay back the company for the stuff he'd stolen, which added up to a whopping $750. Talk about a major blow. Then those two went running back to Judy's mom, bawling their eyes out, hoping for some understanding. But she wasn't having any of it. When she found out they were causing trouble for everyone, not just the family, she dropped the hammer and said they were no longer part of the family. And you know what? That was music to Paul and me. We were thrilled to be rid of them. They tried asking friends if they could crash at their places, but everyone shut them down real quick. No one wanted their stuff going missing too. So finally, they gave up on relying on others and started looking for jobs to rebuild their lives from scratch. Right now, they're both working at some 2-star hotel outside of town, and that's where they live too. All I can say is, my husband and I are praying they don't mess things up there and ruin their last shot at redemption.